Forward, men! Out to the gates! Face these heathens on the battlefield. We'll stop them here. We will not let them go any further. And then you're gonna go run over the beehives. Sure, came pretty damn close to running over the beehives. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Ellington. We are back on Total War Rome 2. Sorry about that, just bumped my mouse. As you can see, we are riding along in style. We are with the general of the Parthian army. And this general is not the kind of general that stands around in the back lines telling everybody what to do. He is out on the front lines and he is out to make war. Anyways, this is a 4 versus 4, sorry about that. And this was sent in than none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Medusa. Now, Medusa, let's see, where is Medusa? Medusa is defending here. Medusa is defending as Colchis. A fun faction, got a bunch of axe warriors. They've got the Colchian nobles, which are really good. As you saw, we have Parthia being commanded by Provider is, I believe, Additional Provider is what his name is. Sorry about that. We've got Seleucid being commanded by Tommy, and Saba being commanded by Why So Serious. Now, Parthia out here with his noble horse archers, which is a fun unit, honestly. It's a archer cav, only 125 range, but they have 90 armor, so it's an archer unit that has mobility and 90 armor, and as you can see, they've got precision shot. So pretty solid archer unit, you know what I mean? He also has some slingers back there. He actually brought out a lot of calves. It's got Eastern Cataphracts, a lot of Eastern Cataphracts. What do we got? 4 units of Eastern Cataphracts, a noble horse archer gen. Yeah. Now for the attackers, we have got Egypt being commanded by Tom. So we've got Tom on one side and Tommy on the other. We have RDI being commanded by Audacious? I don't know exactly what he was going for, but it's something like that. We have Arverni being commanded by Fox, and we have Macedon being commanded by Honey Badger. So as you can see, this settlement is the settlement of Alexandria Erakosia. So it's kind of a fun settlement. Typically what we see is an attack onto this corner wall right here. We talk about it all the time, right? Where it's hard for the defenders to defend areas that can be hit from different angles, right? If you're standing here defending, then the attackers just come over here and they shoot you in the back. Same thing over here, right? If you defend, they just come over here and shoot you in the back. So it makes defending this portion of the corner really, really tough. Honestly, this is when it comes to, I would say at least this specific part of a settlement, this, in my opinion, is one of the dirtiest defensive positions, or attacking positions, excuse me, that there is in this game. It is incredibly attacker powerful. Now, that's not to say that once you get beyond about right here that the defenders can't make a stand. It's just that, I don't know about you guys, I never want to give my enemies an entire section to have a foothold, right? I don't want them setting a toe inside of my settlement, let alone having an entire, like, housing district that they basically get for free. So that is one of the hard parts about it. It's hard to I'm trying to think. It's hard to kind of defend the justification of holding that area when you're getting hit by the arrows or not. And obviously it depends situation to situation, but the majority of the time the defenders lose that fight pretty much every time. So you can see the cavalry for Parthia really pushing out towards the back end here, forcing Macedon to take all of his troops to the other side. It's probably what he probably should have done anyways. He does have some Thessalian cav, which is a solid, what are they, heavy shock? Yeah, a solid heavy shock cavalry. So they can do a little bit of zoning out with that. You can see what they're doing is they're actually bringing their cav over this way for, I think, a couple reasons. One, you can see Saba. We got Sabaean camel cataphracts, Marib camel cataphracts, and another Sabaean camel cataphract, and another Sabaean camel cataphract, and another Sabaean camel cataphract. So even while the Thessalian cav is not a bad cavalry, it's not enough. What they're going to have to do is basically use them as much as they can in close defensive support of their armies. They are also probably going to need to get them to kind of couple up with some of these thorough spears to basically kind of prevent themselves from getting their asses kicked. You know what I'm saying? So, because with the thorough spears, you kind of have the ability to make the attack or the defensive sally out units think twice about charging, right? If there's a thorough spear standing there, if they charge into a unit, then those thorough spears are likely going to get a free javelin shot into them, which is free kills, right? And as the sally out, people, you don't want that.
Advance at speed.
Now, interestingly, so they broke down this right here, but now they just moved. So now the defenders actually have the ability to come out, and if they want to, they can harass. They have an easier access to harass this flank if they choose to do so. Not only that, they also have another way in for their cavalry. So just another place that the attackers need to now watch. Parthia out here just being a nuisance, man. Like, in reality, you gotta remember, we have 4 armies on the attack here. All these small token forces are not enough to stop this attack. The only thing that they can do is be a nuisance. They can hit soft spots. They can try and distract the attackers. That is really the real true purpose of these units out here, is to be a distraction. That is their biggest thing. Those units are not going to defeat all 4 attacking armies by themselves. So, in the end, the attackers, the defenders, they just have to wait. They just got to stand there. They just got to say, hey, look at me, look, we're right over here. Which means that the attackers, which want to be putting all their focus into this right here, they can't because they have to keep looking back here, right? Now, what do you do as the attackers? The attackers, you don't stop. Keep moving. You have to, right? Because you have to remember, they can't defeat you with the token units that they have outside. Those units are powerful. Those units will kill people if you let them. But they can't. You have too many men for them to kill your entire army with those units of cavalry that they have out there. They will hurt if you're not careful. But your number 1 priority is this right here. This is the final goal, right? This is what you're going for. In the end, all of this doesn't matter, okay? So while you need to watch them, your primary focus needs to continue the attack, right? Why do we need to continue the attack, ladies and gentlemen? The reason is because there are things called time limits, right? Typically, your battles have a 60-minute timer, and you know the number 1 reason why people tend to lose the attacks, especially in situations like this, is because they waste too much time, okay? It's just the way it is. When attackers say sally out forces, they tend to, oh my god, what do we do? Oh my god, stop doing everything, we have sally out! Oh my god, we got to sally out! You can't do that. You gotta keep moving. If you sit there and let the defenders waste 10 minutes of your time, that is only beneficial to them, okay? So just keep going. Tighten up your formations, right? Think about it this way. All of this wall is all stuff that the attackers can't, or the defenders can't get to you through, right? So, the more of this you're trying to defend, the more units you have to sit back here to defend it. The closer you bring your army to the wall, the less real estate you have to watch. So as of right now, they obviously need to hold this area right here because they're ballista. They need to get the value out of that ballista. The ballista right now is doing a couple things, right? The ballista is, one, going to get them kills. Okay? Number two, it punishes the defenders, right? So, one, so look at here, losing a lot of archers. Sorry, just a heads up. Let me stop for a minute. As you guys can see, there's not a ton of super crazy stuff going on at the moment. That's why this is a good time to talk about these tactics, okay? I apologize if you think I'm ranting. It's not a rant. We're just talking tactics and the do's and don'ts, what you should do in each situation, right? So what does the artillery provide you as the attacker, right? One, it provides range, okay? It's your long arm to reach out and touch somebody, right? Number two, it prevents the defenders from being able to readily stack up reinforcements to support the front line. The more stuff they have sitting here, the more clumps your artillery can sit there and just blast to pieces, right? So those are the benefits of your artillery. Number three, you spent 700 gold on that artillery. You sure as hell better damn well get the value out of it, okay? And whatever value that may be, whether it is the killing of things behind, whether it is the prevention of stacking up reinforcements, whatever that is, you better get the value, okay? And if you lose that artillery with like no kills, look, he's got 110. That's pretty good. He's doing pretty good with it. Let's say it died with 70 kills. Majority of the time, 70 kills on an artillery is a waste of money, okay? But not always. Like I said, there are other benefits to the artillery rather than just the kills. Here we go. At least one of the cav units came back into the settlement. He's actually doing some charging here. And as you can see, still, the attackers with their sally out force, they're just standing there. They ain't got to do anything. They ain't got anywhere to go. They could just stand there and be like, hey guys, we're right on the other side of this river. But, you know, you still got to look at us because this is an archer unit. I can just come up here and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. Because my range is longer than your thorough spear. You know, he was sitting there, like, peppering that Thessalian cab right there. And the Thessalian cab, once again, had to, like, run around and avoid it. Once again, forcing the Macedonian player to sit there and pay attention to him. Macedon has lost a lot of units, okay? He lost a lot of stuff right here. A lot of stuff. This is almost all Macedonian units. Look at this. Oh my Lanta. Oh my lord. 102 kills. 38, 36, 99. Cretan archers are still here. Looks like Macedon primarily pretty much only went thorough spears. That's all I'm seeing, at least. I don't think I saw any thorax swords or anything like that. Arverni's gonna come down here too. RDI's got a pretty good push going. You can see, once again, like I said earlier, You get pushed out of this area, then you get pushed here, and then typically it's less of a push here because there's a little bit more capability of the defenders to kind of keep archers at bay in this general area. So you don't see typically as aggressive of a push here because usually they can't get as much leverage on it, right? So typically what you see is a lot of pressure here, then they kind of loop in here, which then causes the eventual deterioration of these defenses right here. One place that they are going to have difficulty getting through is going to be right there, which is why they're going to rely on this push down this hill a lot right now. You can see the Cartly Axemen are going to charge in. So what do we got? We got Chosen Swords, we got Illyrian Thorough Spears, Illyrian Noble Hoplites coming in behind. Oh man! Did you see that? Oh, that was a cool shot. Got the Javies flying in overhead from the Illyrian Thorough Spears. Now, if the defenders aren't careful, this is a big push right now. They are heavy pushing this right now because they got that push from down or from up top, and then now they can put more troops here, and the defenders need to get ready to repulse this. They've got one unit in reserve here, but as of for what I could see, nothing else holding reserve. So I don't know. Over this way, once again, pretty much just kind of chilling at the moment. We did get a counter attack from the Cartly, or there's just Hillmen and Eastern Spearmen. But still, here we go. This is what I was talking about earlier. Condensing that formation, providing less of an opportunity for all this stuff to try and sneak in and get into the soft, squishy parts, right? Your peltists, your slingers, your archers, all that stuff, your artillery, all that stuff is squishy. We don't want to lose that. These guys are just sharks right now, man. They are circling. They smell blood. Where's Parthia? Parthia's over here. And it looks like we had a little bit of a counter push here from Mastodon. Mastodon wants Parthia out of his back door here. This is getting, in my opinion, a little wishy-washy. So there's really nothing coming to help. There's a lot of archers and slingers and stuff in this general area that are shooting into this pocket, right? But all we've got right now, we've got a 72-man Cartly Axe. They're going to lose the tower. This Cartly Axe is gone. Bunch of archers. We've got a Moscot Marauder standing in reserve. And it looks to me as if they're going to just hold at the bridge now. The problem with holding at the bridge is this right here. You are in easy range of that tower, which means that's free kills for whoever controls this, which, as you can see, is about to be the attackers. Slingers rushing into combat. They must be out of ammo. I'm a little surprised at only 75 kills. Look at the counter push. Look at the counter push. Here we go. Here we go. All right. The Salient Cav and the Eastern Cataphracts going against each other. Eastern Cataphracts a little better here. They're a super heavy shot cav versus a heavy shot cav, but it was a 2v1, so let's see, 58 out of 80. The other one coming in now. We do have some Thorax Swords in support. We got Levy Thorough Spears in support. So I think in the end, the attackers are going to take this. "25 kills with the Chevron, 15 kills with the Chevron." I don't believe they came into the battle Chevron. Eastern Cataphracts, 53 out of 80, 30 out of 80. We also have a little bit of counter push here. We got some thorax swords fighting up against, what do we got? Eastern spearmen and hillmen. He's using formation attack, I notice.
Withdraw!
Got a bunch of the Cretans of Egypt in the city at this point.
Lead them! Engage!
They're taking on an Eastern archer over here. You can see we got some of the cavalry from Saba sitting back in the back lines. And that could be a nice little surprise that the defenders are holding on to. It's obviously not a surprise. They obviously know that there's cavalry, right? But, you know, having that cavalry be messing around in the settlement can be beneficial in ways because, you know, as things get engaged in here, that cavalry can kind of come out of nowhere. There's so much going on right here, right? That those flags can kind of just get lost in the jumble. He is now taking it outside. He's going to rejoin the rest of his cavalry out here. The Eastern cataphracts look like they are gone, but I believe the Thessalian cavalry is gone as well. So we still have noble horse archers, which actually do relatively well in combat. And we also have, I believe, I thought there were 4 units of the cataphracts. I thought there was 3 of one, and then the general. Am I missing one of the cataphracts here? I don't see him. I only see the 3 out here. But either way, 3 dangerous cavalry units out here. 4, including the Parthian general. And as you can see, the attackers have been... So I'm not trying to be quiet. I'm just like kind of surveying things a little bit. As you can see, the the attackers, excuse me, have basically kind of taken this whole stretch right here. And now they are really just putting that final push into the actual settlement. The cataphracts coming in though. So we got the Ptolemaic cav coming in against the Sabaean camel cataphracts. Those thorough spears better start doing something. You better sure as hell hope that they have ammo, because if they don't, it's a big problem. That Ptolemaic cav took a little bit of damage there. 1 camel cataphract. Look at that, 347 kills and 2 chevrons. You got a lot of stuff right here. The other one, 166, and here comes some rib camel cataphracts there, 170. Everything outside here is about to die, it looks like. Egypt's general's gone. He might still be alive at the moment, but he's gone. So far, I'm not seeing. Yep, there it is. General dead. And so most of Egypt's infantry, the thorax swords, the mainline infantry for Egypt here, they're all disciplined, so they're not going to feel that effect near as much. But things like those levy thorough spears, well, no, they're also disciplined. I didn't think the levy ones were. I knew regular thorough spears were, but I didn't think the levy thorough spears were. But in the end, especially like as things go along, having that one less general could be super detrimental to army losses. Uh-oh. Okay, so we got shield wall. Good call, but he's going the wrong way! Ah, he's the wrong direction. Made the right call, was looking the wrong direction. 270 kills, 3 chevrons on these cataphracts. 210. 521. Ooh, here we go. Thorough spears getting some good jabbies off into the noble horse archers. They just need to get what's left inside, man. Like, they ain't got time to sit here and piddle dick around. At this point, as all this stuff was dying, they should have been getting most of this stuff into this settlement. I really don't understand why there were, 2 units of Oathsworn standing out here, kind of just dicking around, you know what I mean? They weren't really doing anything other than being, you know, ping pong balls.
Into formation!
So the other noble hoplites are actually getting shot from over here. Got the Syrians. And that is a spear side, I guess I should say, since it's coming from this. Yeah, since they wield spears, not swords. It does seem like the defenders have kind of solidified a little bit up against this bridge. The place I usually kind of get a little worried about is right in here, because there's not a very good area for the defenders to kind of support themselves, support this defense right here. So a lot of times it ends up being a pretty good push point for the attackers. This place tends to, you know, usually we will probably see an advance here soon. This cavalry's still just being an absolute pain in the ass. Still have a couple units from our Verney down here. The camel cataphracts have been whittled down. We have a really healthy eastern cataphract still. The noble horse archer is still healthy. You look at the camel. The cataphracts did a damn good job, though. Nicely done by Saba. Kolkian nobles now in combat up here against the chosen swords. They should do well. The Kolkian nobles are a really, really good unit, for especially given the price of them. They're like 970 or something like that. They are dirt cheap for a really, really good unit, and they got wings on their helmets, okay? That is all you need to know. They might as well be freaking Thor out here in a hoplite formation, okay? It's just how it is. Still just taking it easy down here, and honestly, Kolkus regained a lot of ground here, okay? You know, and he doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. He was holding right there and was content to sit there. He is going forward to engage some Illyrian Noble Hoplites. Illyrian Noble Hoplites are going to be better than the Kolkian Nobles, especially the Kolkian Nobles are obviously at almost half health, so in the end, they will probably lose that unless somebody comes up to help them. Now here, Illyrian Noble Hoplites, I thought they had 2 units guarding this, and I didn't think there was enough stuff coming in to kill 2 units. But I guess it has. So one Illyrian Noble Hoplite is going down, finally being taken down by this really, really nasty spear side shot from all these archers and stuff across the bridge. Thorough spears walking up. Yep, look at that. Jabbing right into the archers. Thorough spears was 66 kills. Nice. Slingers are still slinging. Just a slinging. Just a slinging. Ouch, Parthia, that hurts. 114 kills on the slingers. There's that all those damn cataphracts still being a nuisance. Coming over here just kind of wiping out stuff that's sitting around doing nothing. Now, interestingly, mercenary Moscot Marauders shifting away from this position. Did I just see a boulder? Do we have a artillery over here? Yeah, we do. So the Kolkian ballista here shooting over. So the Moscot Marauders have taken a new defensive position here. I mean, for now it's fine, but they can cross the river. What I assume we will see, and it looks like that's what the case is that we're going to see a drawback here. Yeah, you can see that Seleucid's already in the process of doing it. Kolkus is still kind of holding his ground at the moment. But I think that's going to change pretty soon. Saba's slingers are moving. If they give up this, they basically have to give up everything behind it. You have to give up this if you do that. You have to give up this if you do that. So it looks like Kolkis is content to kind of hold his ground for as long as he can. Kolkian nobles up here at the front still fighting. 23 men. 23 men still fighting. 71 base morale. Thorough Spear charging over here, getting into some of the Eastern Slingers. But I think what's going to happen is we're about to get a countercharge from the Eastern Cataphracts. Come on, come on, come on, come on! That was okay. It's probably going to break that unit. Whoops, sorry about that. Another Thorough Spear came in. They're going to charge right into it. I don't know how I feel about that, but they're going to do it. Now he's trying to get out of there. That artillery should try and blast this. Teach him a lesson for going square formation. Damn, Kolkis, you just don't want to move, do ya? Pretty sure it was the Spartans that fought to the last man, not the Kolkians. We shooting double hoplites or we shooting Osword? Probably Osword, it looks like. Nice, nice. Lyrian Thorough Spears up on the wall, shooting right down into the defenders. Nicely done. They are content to try and defend this spot, though. So maybe that's a goal here, that Kolkis wants to, buy as much time for the flanks as he possibly can. So even though he's not, being aggressive, he's basically taking a defensive stance so that the attackers kind of pause a moment before they go in here. I think what we'll probably see is that as soon as the attackers kind of do take an aggressive approach in the center, that Kolkis is probably going to fall back at that. Eastern Cataphracts doing the Lord's work here. 220 kills. They're right around half strength, and actually attackers falling back. Bounce power was definitely in the attacker's favor. It was actually pretty heavily in the attacker's favor from the start of the game, which is surprising. Usually start of the game, things are relatively even, you know what I mean? But, in the last, I don't know, probably 5-10 minutes, the bounce power is really evened out. And I think that's actually a really bad sign for the attackers. You really don't want to be switching sides of bounce power at this point of the game. Because that means that the bounce power is trending against you, which is a bad sign. This cav is just being a nuisance, man. Just, I would be so frustrated if I was the attackers right now. Now the noble horse archers are coming in too. Like I said, they're not terrible in combat. It's a heavy, heavy cav unit. So even though it's not like a specialized shock cav or melee cav, blah, blah, blah. It's got really high armor. It's got really high mass. It's one of those cav units that if you charge it into something squishy, it's gonna die. It's the Greek Scorpion. What do we got? We got 61 kills on it. Counterattack, counterattack, counterattack. Look at that go, man. Silver Shield Swordsman sneaking around the line. Probably going to hit this, or they may just continue pushing. This is probably... Oh, man. I definitely think this is a defender win at this point. Once again, the trend of the bounce power shifting the way that it did is really not a good sign. Was not a good sign. We know it's not a good sign now, right? But it's bad. So this was the deal breaker right here. The cavalry being able to get through and finally do what it needed to do was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? I use that joke because of all the camels. Anyways, that was the thing that did it, right? I hate that sometimes people who are sallying out on, they get impatient. They're like, if my sally out doesn't go out and kill things within the first 5 minutes of me sallying out, I failed. No, sometimes you just gotta wait. Sally outs in this game are all about timing. They're all about just taking the moment, wait for the enemy to make mistakes, then you strike, right? Sometimes you can force the enemy to make mistakes. And one of the best ways to do that is to just make them wait on you, right? So it's kind of like, if we have any baseball fans, it's kind of like a pitcher, especially with the new pitch clock rules. There was a story about Max Scherzer. They had to create a rule about Max Scherzer because Max Scherzer, with the new baseball rules, was so controlling of the time of the pitch clock that they were like, damn, this is way too good, right? So a pitch clock has been around for a few years in like the minor leagues, but it's new in the major leagues. And it basically, you have a pitch clock where the pitcher has to be ready by a certain point, the batter has to be in the batter's back box by a certain point, and the batter can call timeout once. Only once. You can only call timeout once as a batter. And once you've called your timeout, it restarts the pitch clock, and now, without a timeout, the pitcher had all the time in the world to go. This is exactly that, right? Where the cavalry's out there, and it's waiting, 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 and boom, it hits you, right? It's the wait time for the attackers can cause them to make their mistakes, thus allowing the cavalry to get in on them. And that's when mistakes are made, and that's when cavalry and sally outs are successful, is when you are patient. Patient, patient, patient. Let's go look at some kills. Sorry for the baseball references. Something we're like, what the fuck are you talking about baseball for? We're watching the Rome 2 battle. All right, so we got Tribe Tommy as Seleucid with 1,521 kills. His infantry did fine. They did fine. His archers did fine. He just kind of all in all just kind of did fine. We got additional providers, Parthia 1890. What do we got? 3 units of cavalry doing extremely well. 2 of them not doing so hot. So 294, 349, and 325, and all 3 of those got 2 chevrons. His infantry did fine. Slingers did fine. We have Medusa as Colchis, 1,309 kills. So here's the problem. Because of the cavalry of those 2 units, of those 2 factions, Colchis and Seleucid had to take the brunt of this attack, right? Which means that pretty much across the board, Colchis and Seleucid were outnumbered, outgunned, and outmanned, right? Which makes it hard for them to get really good numbers. But that's why it is so critical that those cavalry units had to perform. His infantry did okay. You know what I mean? The Colchian Noble's 148. It's not bad. His general's healthy. He's got a few units of healthy units. A few units of healthy units. Interesting. Why so serious? As Saba 3,000. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so let's start over. 3,700. Okay, you with me still? And 45 kills. Did you guys catch that? 3,745 kills. This man, or this person, almost hit 4,000 kills in this game. That's all I got to say. Okay? You see the numbers? They're sitting right there. Okay? In all that dramatic, fashion that I just gave you, you had plenty of time to check that out. It's right there. You see it. I'm pointing at the screen right now. Okay? We're moving on. Honey Badger as Medusa, 1,300. Honey, Jesus Christ. Honey Badger as Macedon, 1,364 kills. To be brutally honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of his army. He has a lot of thorough spears, which should have been a relatively good option here, especially when it came to all the cavalry that was coming out. They didn't quite do what they needed to do. And I think that's where that kind of failure came in. Audaces as RDI 1,884. His Illyrian Noble Hoplites doing excellent. Tom as Egypt 1,177. Archers did pretty well. His infantry not so hot. JMS Fox as Arverni 1,610 kills. His infantry did pretty well. All in all, his infantry pretty much outmatched everything on the defender side. But man, that cavalry. That cavalry. Well, that is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and join us for more epic sieges on this wonderful game that we all love. And we will see you guys next time.